You ever make a rough first impression, then wish you could go back and do it again? That's basically the gist of Death Stranding Director's Cut, the re-release of Kojima at his most pure, also visually improved for the PS5. This is Wan from Gamer Braves, and before we get into babies, ghosts, and Mads Mikkelsen, don't forget to leave your favorite Kojima game quote in the comments and subscribe for more gaming content. Now, unlike the Tsushima Director's Cut, which featured a whole newly tacked on campaign, Death Stranding Director's Cut doesn't really do that. Instead, the theme for this update seems to be improving the new player experience. I know a lot of people who tried out Death Stranding expecting legally distinct Metal Gear Solid, which it isn't, then getting put off. So trust me when I say that Death Stranding having these new features is pretty much like one of the best things they could do if they wanted to re-release the game on PS5. You play as Sam Bridges, a delivery man out to rebuild America one FedEx parcel at a time. Unlike many open worlds that just use the big area as padding between pointless side quests, Death Stranding's gameplay is traversal. You have to plan logistics and weight and routes, and that's pretty much unchanged in the Director's Cut. Instead, the big change is that the game's starting portion is way more accessible, with the game giving you more tools early on so you don't get too bored too soon. The best example of this is the Mazer gun, which acts as a non-lethal gun you can use on mules, the human enemies early in the game. Considering how in the base game your only tool against mules was the game's bizarre CQC, the Mazer gun makes combat way less scary since you can fight them from a distance. Once you get the main non-lethal gun, the Bola, it's like, don't really bother. There's a lot of other features like this too. Your buddy bot has an upgrade now, letting it go out and make its own deliveries, or acting as a trusty steed for Sam so you can make a delivery while you check your real life phone for emails. It's not all front loaded either, since the game sprinkles a lot of these new goodies throughout the game, like the catapult to just yeet your cargo over dangerous areas and parachute it safely to the ground where Sam can pick it up later, or a jetpack with no prerequisite of you having to betray humanity first. There's also new facilities for those of you who want to try out more of the game's toys, like an all-new shooting range, complete with weapon drills to get you accustomed to all the new tools you're going to get. There's also a racetrack now, so if you ever picked up Death Stranding and wish you had more time to drive around unfettered by things like ghosts or babies or Mads Mikkelsen, you can do so, even competing against other player times. While there's no new story chapters, there is a new area, the Ruined Factory. This area changes up a lot of Death Stranding, having you sneak around the indoor complex, stealthily taking out mules and figuring out what's going on there. No spoilers, but removing the big open areas from Death Stranding definitely should scratch your Metal Gear itch, if not just a little. There's a lot of small updates too. You can now customize your backpack, even adding pouches that can store more grenades for when you decide BTs aren't that scary after all, and you'd willingly get caught just to beat the tar out of the big BT and buy some peace and quiet for once. Of course, re-releasing on the PS5 also means all that DualSense goodness, letting you feel each of Sam's footsteps with the haptic feedback and the kick of the guns with the adaptive triggers. Most importantly, the triggers kick when you pee, guys. It's a very important feature. If you hadn't tried Death Stranding yet, definitely opt for the Director's Cut. It's a great reintroduction to an incredibly unique game, mixes an energy of, but how can we make this game more fun? All without losing the unique appeal of Death Stranding. If you already own Death Stranding, it's also got plenty of new things to check out, but that really hinges on how much you adored the original release, since no single feature here is big enough to warrant a new purchase altogether. What's your favorite feature in Death Stranding? Let us know, and don't forget to subscribe to Gamer Braves for more gaming content. This has been Wan Amirul from Gamer Braves. See ya!